Kia ora everyone, you're here with me, Dave, on the Empire, and it is time for a video game review. Coming at you this week, we are taking a look at a PlayStation 5 exclusive from PlayStation Studios and Lucid. It is available now if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber for free, technically, and it is called Destruction All-Stars. So, Destruction All-Stars is, at its most fundamental level, a game where you pick a hero or an all-star and you jump into a car in an arena and you drive around trying to smash up as many other players on either everyone else in the arena or the opposing team as you can within the timer. Person with the most points at the end wins, and that means that it is Destruction Derby for the 21st century, which sounds excellent, but there is obviously a little bit more to it than that. I do like the driving, I do like the all-star cast, I do like the parkour mechanics in the arena as well. So when the game starts, you will be on foot, you jump off a ledge, there are a selection of cars, and you and everybody else is trying to get to them. You get in a car, you drive around, you smash into other cars. When your car is about to explode, you can jump out and run around the arena, and there are platforms and crystals to collect which power up your all-star special ability and their special vehicle. It's actually a pretty solid way to play a Destruction Derby-esque game, and it is quite a lot of fun to actually just hoon around in this game for about 30-40 minutes, smash into some cars. My son, he's 7, he loves jumping in there and playing it. He doesn't care if he's doing good or not, he just loves driving cars into other cars. It's amazing for him. So that's a good thing, and it's actually, the driving mechanics are solid. The arenas themselves are, there's 3 of them, but it's difficult to tell them apart. You're not really paying much attention to them because there's usually a lot of other stuff going on, like 16 players in cars or on foot sort of driving around and hooning into each other. It can get quite noisy on screen. Thankfully the PS5 is very capable. The graphics are good enough, they're not going to blow anyone away, but of course the game is angled as a free game if you are on PlayStation Plus. Being free means that it is also microtransaction driven, which, if I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of. The microtransactions in this game are pretty expensive, and they charge in strange ways. They charge for single player content in the game, and also the rewards for leveling up are not very generous. They are on the frugal side of things, and I'm from Scotland, and if I'm saying it's frugal, it's frugal. So they need to do something about that, because right now it's very difficult for you to be able to explore and, you know, try all the different skins and actually feel like you are customizing one of the all-stars to your liking, unless you are willing to grind out a lot of levels to make that happen. So yeah, they need to be a bit more generous there, and microtransactions suck. They're not good. It's whilst this game is technically free, the cost of entry is a PlayStation Plus subscription and a PlayStation 5, so not really free. Also, the game has 3 server zones: Europe, US West, and Japan, and it doesn't do peer-to-peer, so if you're not in any of those geographic regions, which New Zealand is not, then you are going to have a suboptimal experience for this online. Now, for some reason, it decided to put me onto Europe when I tried playing multiplayer, which meant that I basically just had to let Jesus take the wheel from time to time. I was driving around, I might have hit something, something might have hit me, it was difficult to tell. I knew it was going to happen. It was alright, it was a pain in the butt. It would have been nice if I had something a bit more localised to be able to play on. I did see quite a few people with Australian game tags on there. Peer-to-peer would have been really helpful if I was hoping for something a bit more competitive in the lag situation, but I guess it wasn't to be. So for me, this game, it's alright. It's, you know, your cost of entry is PlayStation Plus and the PS5, and then a lot of grinding and some slightly predatory microtransactions if you want to go that way. I enjoyed the game itself. I enjoyed the playing of the game, and my son absolutely loves it. He thinks it's hilarious. So it will be getting some more airtime in my house, but certainly it's not something that I would tell you to sit down and spend an entire weekend on. Don't get me wrong, that may change. They might open up some new server regions. Certainly, if they do something in Australia or New Zealand, then that would actually be quite nice, and I think it would make the game a bit more appealing from a multiplayer perspective, which, considering that is the main thrust of the game, it's kind of important that they make it accessible to the regions that are trying to play it. So for me, I'm going to give this game a 6.5 out of 10. The game itself isn't bad, but there's not a huge amount of variety. The microtransactions suck. The game is not generous with its rewards. And the regions and networking for me, as someone living in New Zealand, are completely garbage right now. Which is a shame, because I'm pretty sure that if there were some better networking options, this would be a better experience for me. So, there you have it. That is Destruction All-Stars. Should you get it? Well, if you've got a PS5 and PS Plus, there's no harm in grabbing it, but I certainly wouldn't recommend you go out and look this one up. So, there we have it. Another video game review from me, Dave, here at the Empire. Hang around on the channel. We have cars, we have food, we have fishing and kayaks and other cool bush bloke adventures, so feel free to hang around on the channel, check some other things out. But if this is your last video with us here on the Empire today, then I have been your resident tech and gaming guy, Dave, and I will see you